And the smoothie that we're making today, we call it that, green power smoothie. And so it has 2 green leafies. It has spinach and kale. And then to add some extra nutrients, but also make it more palatable for people who have the aversion to bitter, we add apple, we add banana, and then the lemon, either freshly squeezing a lemon, or here for convenience you can actually use the lemon juice. Those 3 things help to add to the flavor, but also add to the nutrients. And then the final ingredient is the water, and the water can be used to whatever degree of thickness you happen to like your drink. So if you like it on the thick side, more like a shake, then you'd have less water. If you want it a little bit thinner, because you want it at least to be able to come through a straw, then you'd make it a little bit thinner. So here I've already washed my hands. Here we already have pre-washed kale. And the kale, if you want it for convenience, can come already chopped and washed and bagged for you, just like at a regular supermarket like Publix. And so it adds to convenience. You're just taking a handful out of the bag and putting in the machine. Otherwise, you can take 1 or 2 kale stalks, and you can see that this part here is the stalk. And if you hold your hand at the end of the stalk, and then you just slide it down, it takes it off the stalk. Whoops. And you can actually, some people actually like the stalk, so they keep it. But you don't have to, especially your first time if you're really afraid of the bitter. And it's easier to do if it's at a lower length, so that you're not reaching. Then here in our spinner, I've already washed and spun the spinach. But again, you might be already buying bagged washed spinach, so all you're doing is opening up the bag and grabbing a handful of spinach and putting it inside. The third ingredient is bananas, and you can take a fresh banana, or if you happen to like your smoothies really cold, then just peel and freeze your bananas. Then you don't have to worry about spoilage, and you have your bananas nice and cold, ready to go in. So I put 1 banana. Depending on the amount you make, you may only need 1 apple. If you're making a whole, full container, you may use 2. With the apples, a lot of the nutrients are actually in the skin, and apples happen to be one of the fruits that does have a higher level of pesticides. So you may want to choose organic apples rather than conventional apples, because you'd like to be able to keep the skin when you're adding it to your smoothie. You could, just wash it, pull the stem, and slice it with a knife to get rid of the core. Or if you have a nice apple slicer, you just put it on your cutting board, push down, and it makes beautiful apple slices that you can just put in. So it just makes the job easier. Keeps the core. So we'll add our apple slices. And then the lemon is also an acquired taste. So some people don't want to have too much lemon because it makes it a little too sour. So if you're deciding to use not a whole lemon but a lemon juice, you can just start with a capful. And it gives it a fresh taste. And then after you blend it all up, if you want to have a little bit more lemon to your smoothie, then you can do that as well. And then for this amount, I usually start with 2 cups of water. And then we put our lid on. And just turn the machine on. Again, if you haven't used any frozen components, so if you didn't have a frozen banana, then if you want it to be really cold, then you can add ice to it as well. So we can just take the middle piece out, go into our freezer. Grab some ice. done. And so again, you can play with the mixture depending on how thick you like it. You also can vary the fruit that you put in, so you can also use other frozen fruit. You don't have to use apples or bananas. You can use a bag of Publix mixed fruit, so they make a really nice one that has some tropical fruit. There's one that has cantaloupe and grapes, strawberries, and pineapple. The amount of time that you blend really depends on how much of the ingredients you use frozen, so it might take a little bit longer. And also how fine you like to blend the greens. So, and then we just pour. And who would like to have a drink? Right up. And so then we come back to why is it this is a really great drink, whether you're having an illness or whether or not, oh, she's got green mustache. Yeah. Here. We won't put that on the money.
Got kale?